Hey guys, David Essel in the box with you. Oh my Lord, this is so exciting. We get a chance to bring our national radio show live to Facebook right now. Welcome aboard. 27 years now, over 27 years now, I've hosted a nationally syndicated radio show, bunch of different syndication groups. And now the one we're doing right now is a podcast. We're bringing it live to you on Facebook, and we're going to be doing this from time to time. So you're going to get an opportunity to pick up some information and maybe even just change your life. Of course, our website is talkdavid.com. To millions of listeners around the world, we are excited. We're going to get into it. I've got a ton of great questions that are coming in to either our private message space, or we have people that are texting us. The text number is 941-266-7676. Of course, you can email us through the website, talkdavid.com. You can private message us right here on Facebook. This is incredible. Who would have thought? Now, I started 27 years ago in talk radio. Who would have thought 27 years later, not only would we be doing the show via syndication, but we'd also be doing that on Facebook Live. So let's get right into the questions. No time to waste whatsoever. Let me see here. This is out of New York City. A question on New York City. On a radio program here in New York, you shared the story of a busboy that made an incredible amount of money. I never figured out how he made the money. It was over $100,000 a year. Please explain. Oh, my God. This is one of the coolest stories. Can you imagine a busboy making $150,000 a year? A busboy making $150,000. So let me tell you the story. Years ago, when I was in the world of health and fitness, there was a video company called Academy Entertainment that picked up a number of my videos and took them internationally. So we traveled all over the place, and we were in Vegas for a very, very big video show. And we walk into this restaurant, and as we go on in the restaurant, all of a sudden we hear all these people. There was 20 of us in our table, so we were waiting and waiting and waiting. Then all of a sudden, we hear the whole restaurant explode with clapping. And it was getting faster and faster and faster. And then all of a sudden, we look to the right out of the kitchen, and the door swung open. And here's this young guy with all of these serving bins on his shoulders, and he races to this empty table. The table he raced to probably had about 10 people in it, and they were all standing around. And as the crowd continued to clap, he was just tearing the stuff off, throwing all the plates and dishes and everything you can imagine into these bins, racing back into the kitchen, racing back out, and then setting the table. When he was done, which was just about a minute and a half, all of a sudden the 10 people that were there came back, and they started throwing $20 bills on the table. And we were all shocked. The 20 of us waiting for our table couldn't believe it. And the crowd calms down, and we were seated. And then when we got up to leave, 20 of us, the same thing happened. All the clapping started. This kid raced out. He took that uniqueness to the highest level possible. And, of course, we did the same thing. Everyone pulled out $20 bills. So whatever he made couldn't compare to what he was making in tips, right? $150,000 a year as a busboy. Oh, my God. So the question to you is, in the current position you're doing right now, what do you need to do more uniquely? What do you need to do differently to separate yourself from all the other people who are your quote-unquote competitors? Is there something you can do to bring a greater joy, a greater amount of love, happiness to the people who are your vendors, or the people who are your employees, or the people who are paying you for a service? Isn't that awesome? I love it. A busboy making $150,000 a year. You're tuned in to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. Oh, my God. With technology today, when I started in 1990 with Westwood One, when I started in 1990 in talk radio with Westwood One, we had to be in a studio. We had to have all kinds of equipment. And nowadays with technology, here I am on Facebook Live doing the same show that I'm doing internationally right now. Glad to have you with us. Our website, talkdavid.com. Let's go to number 2. Question number 2, weight loss is a massive challenge for me. This is out of Syracuse, New York, my hometown. Weight loss is a major challenge for me. In an article you wrote, you said it's the subconscious mind that ends up fooling us. What does this mean in regards to weight gain? So here it is. Listen, no matter what you've heard and how many stories that you've read or studies that you've read saying that weight gain is genetically based, in about 94% of people, it has nothing to do with genetics. It has nothing at all to do with genetics. 70% of Americans struggle being overweight, and it's not a damn thing to do with genetics. And go Google University of Florida study on genetics and weight gain and obesity and being overweight, and you'll find the study that I'm talking about. So what's the issue? Well, the issue is that we haven't learned from birth how to cope with emotions in life, because most people who are overweight, they're struggling due to the fact that we haven't quite learned how to deal with anger, resentment, shame, guilt, boredom, you name it. Any type of emotion whatsoever, we're going to reach for food. Just like the alcoholic reaches for alcohol when they're stressed or they're excited, for God's sake, right? So the subconscious mind grabs a pattern. And when you're feeling a certain way over time and you grab food when you're feeling that certain way, that pattern becomes part of the subconscious mindset. So the next time that you're in traffic and you're stressed and you're bored or bored, there's food there, you start eating. What about 8 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock at night? I have a client that ate 2,500 calories between 8 and 11 at night, every night. She didn't eat a meal during the day. She stuffed it in the evening. Why? She was bored, she was resentful, she was lonely, she was agitated, she was doing work she didn't want to do. And here's the kicker. Over time, the subconscious picked up her own response system or lack of response to emotions and started to eat to obliterate those emotions. Now, what do I mean by that? There are comfort foods, and they're called comfort foods for a really good reason. Salt, sugar, white flour, fat will go to the pleasure center of the brain instantaneously. Now, when I say instantaneously, I'm talking about within a couple minutes. So if you're feeling bored, if you're angry or resentful or lonely or any emotion you can imagine, when you eat salt, sugar, white flour, or fat, it goes to the pleasure center of the brain and immediately will minimize the emotions you're feeling. So it becomes really easy over time, right, for that pattern to be sad. And whenever you're anxious or nervous or bored or resentful, guess what? Food to the rescue. It is a drug. So that's what we say when we talk about the fact that most people, as we are struggling with food, it's not some kind of a genetic malfunction as much as it is an emotional malfunction. Once we learn how to cope with those emotions without food, just like the alcoholic that can't go to sleep at night without a drink or can't enjoy a party without drinking, it's the same thing. It's a pattern setup. We can shatter the pattern. If you need more help, email me at talkdavid.com. Hey, while I've got everyone here too, don't forget we've got this massive contest going on, a sweepstakes at our website right now. The winner is going to receive a $3,000 one-on-one life coach program with me, absolutely free. Go to talkdavid.com today and sign up, because we're going to be doing these Facebook Live radio shows. This is just so cool. I can do a radio show for all of our different listeners all over the world and broadcast it live like I'm doing right now on Facebook. Welcome aboard the website, talkdavid.com. Next question up. My mind is always active, mainly focusing on my challenges in life. My mom was like this. Could it be genetic? And if it isn't, what's the solution? This is out of Tampa, Florida. Welcome, Tampa. Oh my God, we've gone New York City. Where else were we? Syracuse, New York, and now Tampa, Florida. Welcome, Tampa. Well, first of all, this whole thing with genetics comes up constantly, doesn't it? Individuals are saying, oh, it must be genetics if I deal with this and struggle with this because my mom or dad did, right? Or it must be genetics because I have an aunt and uncle that struggled with the same thing too. It's got to be. What about an active mind? More often than not, that struggle with the mind that doesn't shut up, we call it, the Buddhists call it 10,000 monkeys in a cell. When you have that mind that doesn't shut up, it's not necessarily genetics. In extreme cases, it might be. But once again, when we look at who's our role model growing up, if mom was always flitting around and couldn't sit still and had to have music on or a soap opera on or something like that to try to quiet her brain, the odds are we've picked up that habit from our environment. And it's very common. There's many people today, oh my God, something like 70% of people have struggled sleeping every night. So if your mom was always racing, if your mom's mind was always racing and she was always hovering around the challenges in life and talking about the challenges in life, it would be not abnormal at all for you to do the same thing, because from 0 to 18, we learn to mimic our environment. Now, every once in a while, you'll find someone from an environment like that, an alcoholic environment or an environment where mom and dad are always bickering and arguing, that grow up and never bicker and argue, never drink, or never have a restless mind. But for the most part, that's not the way it works. We are, quote unquote, victims of our childhood in so many ways, right? And in that victim of childhood, that means that there are some things that mom and dad say that they aren't, that we are never going to do when we grow up, but we do it. I have a great personal example. When I was a child, my parents were very strict around eating and prayers at dinner and finishing your plate. And probably a lot of you understand that, right? So when I grew up, I said, there's no way I'm going to parent like my parents did. There's just no way in hell I'm ever going to. Did you ever say that? Isn't that incredible? Right? It's like we're never going to parent the way our parents parent. Well, I found out when the first woman that I lived with that had a little baby boy, when that little boy turned 3, I was doing the identical same thing that my parents did. He wasn't going to leave the table until his peas were finished. Oh my God, right? How insane. But if the girl that I was with at the time didn't bring it to my attention, I would never have thought about the fact that I had told her before I would never parent like that, but then I did. Right? So these things are all based in the subconscious. We can change them, absolutely. And how do you change an overactive mind from this question that just came in? Well, we do the opposite of what the mind wants us to do. So we learn deep breathing. Maybe you take a meditation class. Use the essential oil of lavender. It's an incredible relaxant, powerful relaxant. Anything that goes in the opposite direction of your active mind, you want to take in. So that's why I'm saying walk slowly in nature, meditation, deep breathing, lavender oil. All these different things will help to shatter that monkey brain, that monkey mind. You're tuned in to David Essel Alive, America's Positive Radio Show. For 27 years, we've been broadcasting all over the world, and I want to welcome you guys in to this broadcast right here live on Facebook Live. Let me see where we're going next. We've got so many people. This is out of Naples, Florida. Oh, this is a great one. My friend is always telling me, let success come to me, to put the intent out into the universe, and then it must come back. Is this true? Oh, this is getting into dicey information here. You know what I'm going to tell you? The answer is it's 100% false, just about, let's say 90% false. Listen, you can put all the intention out in the universe you want, and you can demand that the universe, or you can listen to people telling you that the universe must respond to your wishes. It's not true. It's not true. Does it happen every once in a while? Sure. If it's something big, though, like if you put out that you want to triple your income this year, and it happens by you just putting out the intention, well, that's called a miracle. You know, that doesn't happen very often, right? If you put the intention out there to meet the love of your life and you run into them the next day because they delivered pizza to your house, well, that would be a miracle. It would be coincidence. But the odds are you can put in all the intent of the world that you want out there to the universe, that you want to have a certain body size or a certain amount of money or a certain type of lover. But until you do the hard-ass work and get uncomfortable on a daily basis and shatter those beliefs that you've had in the past, the odds of you making money, losing weight, or attracting a great lover by, quote, putting it out into the universe, end quote, is insane. Absolutely insane. You're tuned in to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. Oh my gosh. We just have someone who's with us right now saying, for the first time ever, I come across you live. I'm struggling with feeling so overwhelmed. I can't seem to keep things organized as hard as I try. Big breath. So my question to you is going to be, is there someone that can hold you accountable to change, Agnes? Is there someone that you can reach out to? You know, one of the things that we share in our #1 best-selling book on positive thinking is that without accountability partners to attack those areas of life that we haven't mastered yet, the chance of being successful is really small. We need someone to hold our feet to the fire. It might be a best friend, a counselor, a coach, could be a lot of different professionals. But look to get someone else engaged, okay? And speaking of positive thinking, if you haven't gotten chapter 1 for free of our #1 best-selling book on positive thinking, go to talkdavid.com right now. And you can absolutely pick up a copy of chapter 1 for free and get your life back on track. If I can help you at all, email me either through our website, talkdavid.com, or private message me right here, Facebook Live. Isn't this fun? Oh my God, we can do our national radio show on Facebook Live. I absolutely love it. Now, it's going to be a little abbreviated, okay, because of timing, but you can hear the rest of the show live, or I should say on tape archive via our website. If you go to the website, right at the top of the page, underneath the picture of Jenny McCarthy and myself, you'll see a little link that says David's Radio Show. Click on that and you can listen to thousands of hours of archived radio right at the website. And speaking of Jenny McCarthy, oh my God, gang, got to give it up to Jenny. She's my bud. She's a BFF to me. I'm back on her show this Wednesday 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sirius XM. Just Google Jenny McCarthy if you have Sirius XM, and I'm back on her show for the 4th time in less than a year. It's unbelievable. We get along so great. So join us then, okay? I think we've got time for one more question. Oh, my God, this is a great one. Dating and deal killers. I was listening on a local radio show that you talked about deal killers and love as important or more important than compatibility. Can you please explain? And this is out of Seattle, Washington. Yeah, we're on radio shows all over the country constantly. And we were in Seattle recently and we talked about deal killers and love. So what does that mean? Well, everyone talks about when you want to find deep love that you're going to have to find someone who's highly compatible with you. And that makes sense, right? That's kind of common sense. But what we talk about and what we teach in our courses on love and relationships is that you really need to look at something totally different if you want to have the most incredible love relationship ever. And that is, what are your deal killers in love? What are those things that you just can't accept, that just don't work for you? And don't worry about people going, oh, you're too picky. Bullshit with being too picky. You need to be picky. But what are those things that don't work? As examples, I've worked with so many people over 27 years as a counselor and a life coach now, helping them to get really clear about love. And there are some people that will say, I just could never date a smoker. Well, then don't get into a relationship with someone who smokes, right? That makes common sense. But let me go a little further. There was a couple that came in about a year ago that I was working with, and the woman was a semi-professional salsa dancer. And she had fallen deeply in love with a guy who never danced. And on the very first date, he said to her, listen, I so am impressed with the fact that you're pursuing this as a career and a semi-professional way too. You put in 4 days a week of training. You travel all the time to dance competitions all over the U.S. And I want to get to know you, but I just want to tell you right up front, I'm never going to dance with you. And of course, because she was smitten by him, she made the great error of not realizing this was a deal killer. They met online, and in her profile, she said, I really want to date someone who's willing to learn how to dance if you don't dance already. She told him right up off the top that, hell no, I'm never going to dance. And so here they come into my office after dating, and she fell deeply in love with him, and she kept bickering about, you've got to dance, you've got to learn to dance. And they sat in my office, and I said, you know what, honey? If this was one of your deal killers, this is what you need to learn. You don't date someone with a deal killer. And that was the end of the relationship. They walked away friends, but her heart was shattered. And the reason it was shattered is because she didn't pay attention to what she really wanted. A lot of times we say, oh, they'll change, right? Yeah, they may party a little too much, but once they see the love I have, they'll change. Or in her mind, it was, oh, I know he said he doesn't want to dance, but once he sees my competitions, he'll want to dance with me. He never wanted to. He was unbelievably honest. And that's what I want you to take away from all of this. All right, we've got to run. This is David Essel Live, Positive Talk Radio. Listen, if you want to listen to thousands of hours of radio shows, go to our website. I'll post it below too, talkdavid.com. At the very top of the website, underneath the picture of Jenny McCarthy and I, you'll see a little link that says David's radio shows. You will be able to listen to thousands of hours of radio shows absolutely free right at our website. Oh, Lynn Banks just asked me, will I be on Hay House Radio? There's not a plan right now to be on Hay House, Lynn, but I'm an author with them. I've written a book with them. We did incredibly well with that book. But I'm not sure if we're going to be doing anything with them in the future. Right now, we've got syndication all over the world, and we're really happy with where we go. And the coolest thing in the world, to me, is being able to bring our radio show onto Facebook Live. So if you want to share this with friends and family so that they can listen to what we talked about today, every week it's going to be something different, okay? And don't forget our $3,000 life coach, life counseling sweepstakes giveaway. Sign up today at talkdavid.com. It ends July 15th, 2017. You might be a big winner of a $3,000 coaching package with me one-on-one. All right? So you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to share all this information. And I look forward to doing another live, positive radio talk show right here on Facebook Live in the very near future. Have an awesome, awesome day. Woo, losing my focus.